So, you ever heard of this guy named and I'm gonna forget the name. The guy from Los Alamos that released that information about Bob Lazar. Um,
Bob Lazar.
Bob Lazar, yes. What do
He's
you
the
think about
UFO
him?
guy,
Yeah,
right?
he's the UFO guy. So he used to work at Los Alamos apparently, and he said that he went inside an actual
Area
UFO.
51, right? He was the Area 51 guy.
No, I think it was Los Alamos that he worked at. But
Los
well, yeah,
Alamos
no,
has
no, no.
aliens?
Yeah, no, Area 51. No, he used to work at Los Alamos too.
Oh,
He's
I see what
got
you're saying.
New Mexico roots.
I remember the name, because I know he's like the guy that talks about aliens. He's the guy that was an ex-employee, and he says that he can prove, and he has like all this evidence. I don't know enough. I haven't looked into it. I'll tell you my opinion on aliens in general.
Yeah, tell me about that.
And everyone says the same thing, right? There's for sure aliens. It's egotistical to not believe in aliens. I think we've all agreed the world is so big that there's a chance there's aliens, right? So the real question that we're asking is, are there aliens here, or has there ever been aliens here?
Yeah.
I think there hasn't. I think it's people are susceptible to encouragement. I think the most close that I've ever been to believing it is listening. Have you ever heard the stories of like the Air Force pilots that are flying and they claim to see things? Like, dude, I've never seen anything move like this. Like, there's no spacecraft. Those are the ones, because there's so many of them and they have no reason to lie, that I kind of like feel weird about. But I do think that could be a technological thing. The bottom line is I don't know, but I don't think I've ever heard a story that
you were convinced with.
that I couldn't feel like, all right, you can explain that a little bit.
Yeah.
And there's so many stories that have come out that seem legit, and then later on it comes out like, oh, it was fake for sure, and they could prove it, and I'm like, damn it.
What about the like space in general though? Because I mean, and we're in the world, people have or we're talking about aliens possibly visiting Earth, but what about in the universe as a whole?
Like our universe?
Yeah, because if you really think about,
anywhere?
Yeah, have you ever seen that video that it's like a video where they show like a map of like a house, right? And then it zooms out and it just keeps zooming out, and then it shows the world. And then it shows the world in the solar system, and then it shows it like zooming out the solar system into the Milky Way, and then all this other thing. And you think about like
how small we are.
The Milky Way, which it's unfathomable. I mean, it's a gigantic space to us. Is a very small space to the universe in general.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? Like, do you think that there's aliens out there?
Yeah, hell yeah, there is, and it gives me anxiety to think about it, man. Like, because I always think like, first of all, there's no way we're the only ones. My only thing is like maybe none of us. When I say us, like whatever the civilizations are, maybe nobody's created technology to visit the other ones yet. But I don't know. Do I think there's another human race? Probably not. Do I think there's another race that's similar? Maybe. I just don't want to know. Like, I know that sounds weird, but like when you start thinking about those things, you start feeling unsafe. And I like the safety of knowing what I know. So I don't like the idea of it. But yeah, for sure. Like, there's something out there, man. And I don't know. Like, I just hope that we find them before they find us, man. But then I watch too many movies, and I think we associate it with like powers and abilities and cool stuff. And it's like when you think of Superman, who's an alien and stuff like that. In that sense, like, hell yeah, bring them on, man. Especially if you want to recruit me for your superpower team. I'm definitely on that.
Did you ever watch that movie District 9?
What is it called?
District 9.
Yes, where he starts turning into like a roach or something, right? Or whatever
like
those creatures
shrimp.
are.
Yeah.
Is it a shrimp?
No, well, they call him prawns in British.
Something, and then now he starts speaking their language, right? Yeah, I did see that. I thought that was pretty weird.
He starts with that arm, and then he's able to shoot the guns.
Yes,
cool,
because they couldn't use the weapons, right? But that's a cool concept because like they came here and then we imprisoned them. Yeah, like we always assumed the people coming are going to be way more advanced than we are, and we'll just take them over.
And they were, but they were just like.
I actually don't remember how it ended.
Well, it actually they set it up for a sequel, but
District
I don't think
10.
Yeah,
we still need aid from the government. What if District 10 is about like a family of those people that like need like food stamps and stuff, and they're like, we need more help.
Yeah, or the world is like overloaded with too many people and too many aliens, and everybody's trying to survive.
Like even the poor humans are like, get it together, like to that race. You guys are idiots. You need to get jobs.
Or they're like, oh, humans, you humans need to get it together. You guys are always fighting wars. We're a peaceful civilization, and then they enslave us. You know what I'm saying? Because I
mean, that's always an option. I don't want to be enslaved. I'm not about that life. I'm not about that enslavement. Have you ever seen The Abyss?
Yeah, a long time ago. That's the one where he goes down.
It's an old movie,
and then he takes off his bubble thing.
Didn't we talk about this recently? I talked about it with someone. No, it's literally, and I didn't even, as I was telling it last time, I didn't remember the whole story, but it's essentially like these people go down in the submarine, and they realize that because we're breathing in water when we're in the womb, like we don't have our first breath till we come out of the womb and we breathe air.
Yeah.
They go, we as human beings know how to breathe underwater. We just forget how to do it as children. This is a concept in the movie. So they actually learn how to like submerge each other, like themselves underwater, and like something happens and they focus or whatever, and they end up breathing. No, for sure, don't do it. Don't drown yourself.
That's not the way it works, man.
But in the movie,
that's not the way you get oxygen.
So
when
I
you're
think
a baby.
that's how they end up getting to the. You know how no one's ever been at the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah.
That they end up getting there because they go down and then they learn how to breathe under the water, and then they have this pressurized helmet full of water. That way, it doesn't crush their heads.
Yeah.
And they learn how to breathe, and they can go even deeper. And then they find a ship. I think essentially, I don't remember if they found a ship or it was their own ship that went too deep. But it turns out at the bottom of the ocean is aliens, but the aliens are the water. Like the water itself is the alien. Like there is no creature down there. So the alien ends up coming into the ship and like a little flubber looking like thing.
Yeah.
And it ends up like talking to them through like telepathic stuff. It's crazy. And end up showing them, they can tap into like the television frequencies on Earth. They could tap into it and they start showing them in the water like that they're going to destroy the human race. And they're sending this huge, like the biggest tidal wave in the whole world to like wipe out the whole world. It's like crazy. And I don't remember how it ended, man, but I think they don't ruin the world, I would hope. But like it's crazy to think
they talk it out. They probably talk.
It's crazy to think that the water is alien to us. If we think about it, like we've never been in the bottom of the ocean. This world is mostly water.
Yeah.
Like so to think that there's not alien-like things, depending on what you call aliens here, then that's crazy. There's for sure something here that is alien to us. I believe that.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, even if you think about it, because the ocean itself is very unexplored, right? And because we don't have the technology to go below a certain level,
it's mostly the pressure, right? And then also the it's mostly the pressure, right? Because they've sent machines down there that like have gotten lost, right?
So and
then there's no light at one point, right? That's how they found those weird fish with the lights. On
but
their head.
you can take a light down there, but it doesn't have very much of a reach, right? Because the water gets cloudy and it's very, very dark down there. But really, the biggest thing is just the pressure. So the lower you go, the more pressure it exerts on anything. So if you go down all the way to the bottom, the pressure must be enormous, right? Like you have to make a ship
like the most pressure that we've ever seen, right?
Yeah, I think they have
scientifically.
sent like machines down there that don't get crushed, but us as humans have never explored it. Plus, think about the size of the ocean. I think, I mean, don't quote me on this, but I think the ocean is larger itself than the amount of land that we have, right? So
100%.
Yeah, I believe it is. So think about the amount of land. Think about right now, for example, in the Amazon, there are still uncontacted tribes. Think about that.
Yeah.
We have Wi-Fi. We've sent people to the moon, but yet here in Earth,
we've sent people to the moon.
we might have sent people to. We might have just recorded them in a studio. Yeah, that one, that's a dead horse that's been beat very, 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 very often by everybody. So but yeah, think about it. There's still uncontacted. Every time I hear about those stories, though, I think about like, are they uncontacted? Is it uncontacted? Is that the right word?
No, I think you're using the right word.
Okay, uncontacted. It sounds weird to me. Like uncontacted tribes. Is it because we haven't contacted them, or is it because we didn't know they were there because we haven't explored it?
But I also think that I don't know, but I think that there's certain places where we just kind of agree not to go. Because I've heard stories about indigenous people that live in like a small island, and like we know the way that we would protect an endangered species.
Oh, yeah.
I think they've agreed like, hey, this is a tribe that we don't want to mess up. They have their own world. They don't even know what technology is. We're going to go ahead and leave them alone.
Yeah.
Because I've heard Joe Rogan had on his podcast, there's a guy talking about like how they sent someone over there to like teach them the ways, and they killed that guy. And they're like, dude, let's just leave those guys alone.
Well, if you think about the like bringing over any kind of disease over there, you're bringing over polio or whatever it may be. They think the flu.
Well, to them, we're fucking aliens. Like, so they're like, what? And that guy probably showed up on a chopper. Let's be honest, he didn't boat out there.
Yeah.
And they're like, dude, this guy's driving a giant metal bird.
Yeah.
Like, this guy is a devil. Yeah. Like, we don't know. Let's just kill him just in case. Like, we don't know what the fuck he is.
What are these pictures he's taking of himself?
Yes.
This is so advanced.
So that is crazy. You bring up a good point that there is parts that we haven't even explored here. And as human beings, like, how much do we really travel? Like, the only time I've ever traveled out of the U.S. was to Mexico.
Yeah.
And it's like, culturally, like, that is different. Like, when we went on the cruise, me and Laura, and we went deep into Mexico. We were literally at the very bottom, at the Yucatan Peninsula, and it's culturally so different. And that's like continentally, we're still on the same continent. You know what I mean? So it's like it's very different, and it's still here. Can you imagine like how different it is in other countries on different continents, and even further? And then, God, man, it's so crazy. And then we all think that ours is the right way because it's what we're growing up at. I just think that the idea of an alien or some sort is like, I don't even want to know, man, because I don't even know the people that live here.
Yeah.